Hi there, I'm Rameez. I'm the founder of Eligible. A little bit about myself. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I've been in the UK for about 20 years, and I was on the lending side before we created Eligible. And what we were hearing from advisors was just, when they're really busy trying to get cases over the line, it's really hard to stay in touch with all the existing clients. So we built a product that could help advisors sort of keep that lifetime relationship with all of their existing clients. So why we thought that was important is because when we started to dig into it, um, the heart of the problem was just that our clients forget us, and it's for no other reason. We didn't do anything wrong. We provided this great service, and it's just out of sight, out of mind. Their clients are busy living their life. We haven't spoken to them in 2 years, and the problem is that the lenders are just getting so much more aggressive about contacting your clients earlier, giving them these sort of online slick PT journeys. And what they're really trying to do is sort of take over that personal relationship that you build with the client. So we started to dig into, well, what's happening in the business and how can we help? And it tends to look something like this. So every year you have a number of clients and their products are going to expire, right? The initial term is going to end. And those clients are going to do one of a few things. So first, in green, they're going to switch with the advisor. That's great because you keep the business. Next, they might go direct to the lender, and that's red because you didn't get the proc fee there. And then there's a bunch of clients that might have sold it, they might have redeemed the property, redeemed the mortgage, they might be on SVR, they might have even gone to a new advisor. The truth is, we don't really know what happened because we couldn't get in touch. So we went away and we just spoke to lots of your clients, 3,000 end clients, just to ask them, what'd you do and why'd you do it? And it was fascinating because they almost always said the same stuff. So when we spoke to one of the clients that went back to their advisor and we said, so, what'd you do? Before COVID, it was about 50-50 between PTs and lender switch. It sounds like now, during lockdown, it's more like 75% PTs. But what was much more interesting is what clients said if you asked them, so why'd you go direct to your lender? And usually the first thing they'd say is, oh, well, I got a letter in the post and I just did what it told me to do, which means we lost that business just because we didn't contact them first. Or next, often what we would hear is a client saying, yeah, I was chatting to my advisor, but then, the lender said I could just sign a form and send it back to them, or I could do it online, which sounded easy enough. So I just did it myself. And then sometimes the lender might even convince them that it's cheaper to go direct than go back and get advice. As far as the clients that are on SBR, they went to a new advisor, they sold the property. Simply, honestly, they felt forgotten. We didn't get in touch with them, they didn't get in touch with us, and we lost the business. So we wanted to build a solution that could address everything in the red and basically keep in touch with these clients so that we could increase your retention rates by 20 to 30% without the advisor having to lift a finger. Now, why is that so important? Well, just because you're really, really busy. What's happened in the last few months is you've got all of these leads coming your way thanks to the stamp duty holiday, and you have to focus on that stuff, right? Because number one, the proc is higher on the new business. There might be more of an opportunity to cross sell as well. Then, if you're working with any introducers, whether that's estate agents or conveyancers or anyone else, you might have SLAs, which means you need to respond to that stuff faster. I mean, even if it's a referral from somewhere, you want to show that you're responsive, so you have to act on that. And now to make things even more difficult, trying to get a case over the line, is a little bit like trying to get Glastonbury tickets at the moment. You're just sort of staring at a loading screen, but you just don't have enough time in the day. So even if you have a reminder somewhere that says contact my client about his remortgage, it's really tough to squeeze that in. And often what we're finding is advisors saying, you know what, I just can't contact him today. I got to get this case over the line. I'll try again tomorrow. So then we started to look at, okay, well, let's pretend you actually had time and you had all the time in the world. What would be your process? And it tends to look something like this. So if we go from left to right, it starts with you complete a case and you have some sort of new business register. That might be in an Excel, which is what we usually see, or it might be in one of the existing CRMs that you use for your back office. So you complete a case and you sort of jot down the end date, the lender, the name. 2 years pass, 18 months pass, you get this reminder, and let's pretend I'm the client. So Rameez is the client. Reminder says, call Rameez. And you're like, right, who on earth is Rameez? He's not one of my portfolio landlords, not my loyal clients, must have been a referral from somewhere. Maybe you have to dig out the case file and do a little bit of research on who this person even is. Maybe it's a lender you haven't worked with. It's a small building society. You don't even know where their products are at the moment. So you have to have a play in sourcing. But even if you don't do that research, the real fun begins when you just try to get back in touch with Rameez because it's been so long. What we've learned is this takes about 10 touch points on average, sometimes 15. So what I mean by that is, so you say you've got this reminder that says call Rameez. What do? Well, you give Rameez a call. So you call him. He probably doesn't answer. So you leave him a voicemail saying, hey, it's your advisor getting in touch. And then you send them an email. And the email says, hey, just gave you a call a little while ago. Let me know when you're free. Then somewhere you jot down a note to call them back. You wait a few weeks, you call them again, call them, voicemail, email. We're now at 7 touch points. It might be that the client even calls you back. So Rameez calls you, except now you're in another appointment, or maybe you're on hold to a lender. That's 3, 4 more emails. I can do Wednesday, I can do Thursday, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And all of this stuff is just to get an appointment in the door. Now, if you succeed and you do all those touch points, you'll probably keep the business if that appointment happens. The hard bit is, and it's a little bit like death by 1,000 cuts, you're trying to squeeze in all of these emails and voicemails and follow-ups just to try to get those appointments. And over the course of the year, that's just thousands and thousands of emails and voicemails you're trying to squeeze in between submitting cases and managing all the new leads. And so we wanted to solve this problem for you and take away all of the energy and all of that chasing that you have to do and do it for you. How we do that is we looked at your process and we found a way to automate it. What our advisors do is they can upload their new business register, whether that's an Excel or a report that they download from their back office CRM, and upload it straight into our system. What our system does is right after completion, it starts contacting your client and it keeps them warm for the life of the mortgage. And then when it gets 6 months from the expiry of their product, it's going to start chasing them specifically about their mortgage. So it's going to remind them that, hey, your product's coming up for renewal. We've still got some time. I'm going to start doing some research. And it's going to keep chasing them and nudging them to make sure that all of your clients remember the value of advice and remember to come back to you. Now, what makes the system really clever is it uses the kind of modern technologies that you see in Facebook, in Netflix, and Spotify, or what's a good example? Amazon. So if you bought something on Amazon, you'll see that Amazon can recommend other products to you. Now, you didn't fill any forms or tick any boxes. The technology just had a good idea of what it might be able to recommend to you. Our system can do the same thing for your clients. So at different points in time, it kind of knows what your clients might be thinking, and so it can recommend articles or bits of content to them that will remind them about the value of advice. Now, that all sounds sort of very complicated and technical. The principles are really simple. They are, number one, make your clients feel confident. And what we mean by that is keep them warm and remind them that their advisor is there to help them and sort this out for them. And number two, what we're able to do for advisors is qualify their clients in a new way. What tends to happen now is advisors are sorting by expiry, banging on the phone and saying, let's see what sticks. Now imagine you had a client that was opening all the emails that you were sending them, that was logging into the system that we've created, that this client was clicking a button that said, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Advisor, give me a call about my mortgage. That's where the business is. So if you visualize that you had this Excel that was sorting itself, and right at the top of the list is the client that's most engaged and where you're going to get some business done. So that was sort of a bombardment of information, but if I were to stop for a second, the way that I'd like to summarize is retain, which is the product, reduces engaging and qualifying time to 0.